This week, I'm going to break down the 7 steps to double your sales in 2025 as a real estate agent. If you want to double your sales, doesn't matter what your numbers are currently, but to double your sales, you don't necessarily have to double the amount of time working. Now, in some ways you do, but we're going to be smart about it. I'm going to break it all down for you right now, and make sure you stay through to the end because I'm going to give you the exact numbers. I'm going to tell you exactly how to figure out what to do on a daily basis and how many conversations you need to have a day, how many appointments you need to have per week, and how that plays out for the year. If you can just focus on those two things, if you know those numbers, you will hit your goal as long as you do the work. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Welcome to episode 365 of the Massive Agent Podcast. I am your host, Dustin Brohm, here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I am stoked as hell for this episode because this is going to be a girthy episode. Like, I'm going to give you the meat and potatoes. This is the red meat shit. This is what you're looking for. 2025 is what, 2 weeks away? Less than that, even. Basically, it's already started. Like, you should already be kind of operating like the year started and you're moving towards it, even if you're taking some time for the family and all that, as you absolutely should be. It's a mentality more than anything. I'm going to help you out here, and I'm going to give you a cheat code. I'm going to give you the cheat code here. And so make sure you stay to the end. I'm going to show you how to figure out exactly how many conversations to have every day and how many appointments you need on a weekly basis to hit your end goal at the end of the year. By reverse engineering it and breaking it down, by knowing those numbers, as long as you do the work, you will hit your goal. You will double your sales if you do the work, but you have to know the numbers. If the numbers are wrong on the low side, you're not going to hit it. If the numbers are overestimated and you hit it on the high side, congratulations, you hit your goal way early. And then there's seven steps, right? So the math and the numbers is part of the first step. So at the end, I'll dive deep on that. I'm going to go into the 7 steps first, and then we'll get into the math. So stick through to the end so you can leave having marching orders and knowing exactly what to do on a daily and weekly basis. So number 1, the first step is to know the math. You have to know your numbers so that you have to have a target to aim at. If you want to double your real estate sales, if you want to double your sales as an agent, you have to know what that number is. So I know this sounds simple to some of you, but some of you don't know how many homes you've sold. You don't know what's going on in your business because you're not looking. This is not very time consuming. It doesn't have to be. If you have a good CRM and decent software, you just open up and look at a dashboard and you know exactly what's going on. Some of you haven't taken the time to do that yet. So some of you have to do that. You have to know the math and know your numbers. So once you do, you can reverse engineer your sales goal. So for example, I'm going to use the example of selling 50 homes this year or next year rather. So how many conversations do you need on a weekly basis? How many do you need on a daily basis? I'm going to show you, right? So we'll break it down from number of closings, 50, for example, and just enter your goal, whatever that is. So for this example, it's 50 sales. So to get 50 sales, how many offers do you need to write? How many showings do you need to have? How many appointments? How many contacts? All that stuff. I'll break it down. You have to know those. So that's step 1, is to know your numbers so you actually have a target to aim at. Otherwise, you're just aiming at anything. You're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping some shit sticks. Step number 2, stop guessing and track everything. Stop guessing. Don't let this intimidate you. This does not have to be time consuming. Again, if you're using a solid CRM like Follow Up Boss, or Lofty, there's a handful of really fantastic CRMs that are not super expensive, by the way. Like it's amazing to me how I see agents trying to save $30 a month on their CRM, and then they piss hundreds, if not thousands, away on other shit that doesn't matter. And your CRM, which should be your business manager, is not doing the stuff that it should, and it's making your job harder. So just get a great CRM. I think Follow Up Boss is $70 a month, something like that. You can all afford that. You can all budget for that and fit that in. And if you want to be a business owner and bring other agents into your business, that is what you can use to scale. That's what most of the biggest businesses in our industry use, is Follow Up Boss or Lofty or Sierra. So stop skimping on the CRM and then freaking use it. And use it on a regular basis, right? It's only as good as the data you put into it. So if you don't do that very often, if it's not up to date and accurate, it's not going to give you accurate insights. So step number 2 is stop guessing and track everything. You need to know phone calls, contacts, appointments. If you don't know those things, you're literally just hoping for results. And if you hope, sometimes it doesn't happen. And when I say sometimes, I'm just being nice. It doesn't freaking happen. You can't just hope. Hope is not a business plan, not a reliable one, anyways. Step number 3: hire people and hire people faster. So many of you have a people problem. It's not an action problem. It's not a systems problem. It's a people problem. You need to take work off of your plate so you can focus on income producing activities. And most agents, like the vast majority of agents, even those that are productive, even those that are selling a bunch of homes, they're just overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed. You're burned out because you're trying to do everything. Everything that has to be done is on your plate. Everything that has to be done is on your shoulders. So to double your sales, you could just double the amount of time working. That's not very smart, is it? And not to mention, it's not the goal. The goal is to have a great life and to build a business around it, not settling for some life and some family time and some free time and some you time when your business allows. That's so many of us have it backwards. So many of you guys have it backwards. So for a lot of you, that's the mental shift that you need to do this week. This is a bonus. This is not part of the 7 steps. This is a bonus. Decide what kind of life you want. What do you want your days to look like? What's important to you? What do you want to make sure that you get time to do? Define your life and then build a business around it. Structure a business around your life that can support and make the life you want possible. That is the goal. And so many of you do it backwards. And I know because I did it wrong for so many years. I lived my life when I had time to do it, right? I built my business. I was working. I was doing everything that the industry told me that I should be doing. And then when I had some extra time, I'd spend it with my wife and kids. That is not optimal. That is not the goal. So you need to free up as much time as you possibly can. Take stuff off your plate by hiring great people to do that stuff for you so you can focus on income producing activities. You need to delegate the rest. So I encourage you, if you don't have a transaction coordinator, what the hell? Get one immediately. It's not difficult. If you don't have one, it's for a lack of trying. You could, if at the minimum, Google transaction coordinator for realtors, and then start doing it. So get a TC, get a virtual assistant or multiple. Maybe some of you guys need a showing assistant that can be showing homes on your behalf. Some of you aren't there yet and don't need that, but some of you absolutely do. Some of you are in a place where showings are taking up the vast majority of your day. Showings suck, super time consuming. You don't have to be the one that does those. You don't. Whoever taught you that, or whatever caused you to think inside your head that you have to be the one personally showing all the homes, you're just wrong. You can hire showing assistants to do it. And in fact, you can structure that in a way where your clients see it as a value add that they have you and a showing assistant who can show homes on your client's schedule. So it's like, hey, I hired someone. We have someone on the team. Their only job is to help show you houses when you need to see them, in addition to you. So it's a value add to them. It's a benefit to your clients. You just have to wrap your head around the concept first. So hire faster. Number 4, think bigger and think you have to master the client experience, not just transactions. All right. A lot of us, when I say think bigger, a lot of you are focusing way too much on just transactions and getting deals done, but then you're not focusing on what kind of experience does your client have during the deal, during the transaction. What does that experience like for them? Is it low stress? Is it streamlined? Is it enjoyable? I know it's not always enjoyable. Not everything in this process can be enjoyable, but when they look back at it, do they feel like you really kicked ass, that you really went above and beyond, that you just did stuff that wowed them? And then what happens after the deal closes? A lot of you haven't even, you don't pay attention to that because you're so focused on just getting business incoming, and you don't bother to think about how to take care of those people after the fact. So step 4 is to think about the client experience and not just the transaction itself. Yes, the client experience during the transaction, but what about after the transaction? How do you take care of those people? How do you treat them like clients forever? It really, a lot of you use the term past clients. I've used this term before too. Stop using the term past client. What that's saying is, hey, they used to be a client of mine, but they're no longer. Is that really what you believe? Is that really what you want? Or do you tell people you're a client for life? If they're a client for life, then freaking treat them like it. If you have clients and they're your clients for life, then you can get another deal out of them and another 2 or 3 or 4, and then referrals, right? So that's how it should be. You should expect multiple transactions from these clients and referrals that come along the way. But you have to focus on the client experience. If they were wowed during the process and then you take care of them after, that starts with setting great expectations up front too, so that they're not surprised by a bunch of shit and stressed out by surprises. If you can create that great client experience, you're going to sell so many damn houses, especially in year 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 from now. It snowballs in a way you can't even imagine. Step number 5 to doubling your sales in 2025, become an expert on something specific. You cannot just be everything to everyone. If you try to be everything to everyone, you're nothing to nobody. I think I said that right. Pick a niche, pick a specialty, pick a certain segment of the market that you want to service. In other words, do you want to be a luxury agent? If so, focus on that. Speak to those people who would be luxury clients. How about relocation? Do you want to serve people who are moving to your area? Maybe you have a YouTube channel and you're focused on local content that people who are moving to your area would watch, and then you're servicing people moving to your area. Great. Decide on that. Go all in on that. You'll sell so many more houses than if you're trying to, well, I'm going to be a luxury person and a relocation, and I'm going to service military clients. And pick one, right? Pick one, master it, and then maybe you can add on. And it doesn't mean that you won't ever get any clients outside of that. But as far as like what you're putting out there and your whole focus and your intentionality, pick one specialty. Luxury, relocation, military, new builds, creative financing, even serving investor clients. When you become an expert on something, you're actually more valuable. You are more sought out. But if you are just another agent, I'm just another agent. Well, who do you service? Anyone who's buying, anyone who's selling, anyone in this area and that area. I've tried that. I think I've told you the story. I'll tell you again. When I was new in this industry, 14 years ago or so, every time I say that now, I feel old as shit. I feel like I'm one of these fuddy-duddies in the industry. I know I'm not, because I feel like I'm 17. Anyways, my mentor at the time, my first mentor in real estate, told me that I need to pick a farm area. I need to pick like one neighborhood, one subdivision, and just focus everything on that. What I heard was, well, that's too small. Like, there's not enough business. Wouldn't it be better to just focus on the whole city? And so what did I do? In my infinite freaking wisdom, I focused on all of Salt Lake City instead of just one farm area. Now, I did have a farm area that I decided on a while back, Olympus Cove. I did a bunch of door knocking. I was more focused on one area than others. However, a lot of my marketing was Salt Lake. So I was trying to be a listing agent, a buyer's agent, a relocation specialist, an investor-friendly agent to all of Salt Lake City. It just diluted my messaging. It diluted my marketing. It diluted my ad spend. It diluted everything. And guess what? I sold way fewer homes than if I just focused like a laser beam on one area. So pick an area, pick a niche, pick a specialty. You cannot be everything to everybody, but you can be everything to somebody. Number 6, time block like your income depends on it, because it does. Success as an agent, and especially in this context, doubling your sales in the coming year, it hinges on time management. It really does. Success will rise or fall based on your ability to manage your time, what you're spending your time doing. So you double your sales by focusing at least 80% of your time on income producing activities, lead generation, follow-up, appointments. And some of those appointments you can even outsource to showing agents and sales partners, right? you cannot let tedious administrative tasks eat up your whole day. If every once in a while, every single one of us is going to have one of those days where we're like, holy shit, I was busy today, but what the hell did I do? Like, what did I even do today? I was so busy. That's going to happen from time to time. You cannot have 100% of your days be wildly productive all the time. But if most of your days are just like busy work and a bunch of stuff, you're doing a bunch of stuff that you could be hiring out to somebody else for $12 an hour, $15 an hour, $20 an hour. And you cannot double your sales if you're spending your valuable, precious time doing administrative tasks. You just can't. You need to hire someone to do those things for you. Number 7. Okay, step number 7 is your health and habits are non-negotiable, right? You have to take care of your health and your habits. Doubling your sales will require energy. It's going to require focus. It's going to require mental strength. It just is, right? You're trying to double what you did this year is normal for you. It's average, right? If you want to double your average, you have to become a different person. You have to upgrade yourself. You have to grow. You have to stretch. So you have to dramatically increase your energy. If you want to do that, you have to get serious about your exercise, about your health, about your nutrition, about your sleep, about your water consumption, limiting caffeine and energy drinks and just horseshit garbage food and drinks. Alcohol for some of you is a problem. You can't sell, you can't double your sales just running on coffee and junk food and drive-throughs between showings and no sleep because you're working all the damn time. You will burn out. You will get fat. You will become unhealthy. It's just, if income is your only goal and nothing else matters, have at it. But if you know that income is just part of life and there's so much more that's way more important than that, take your health seriously, right? You need to improve your health and your health and fitness habits this year. Take it seriously. Get sleep. Drink a shitload of water. Maybe you need vitamins. Maybe you need supplements. Most of us do. Get blood tests on a regular basis. Find out what you're lacking and what you need. Take your health seriously, because to double your sales, if you just doubled your energy and your confidence that comes with that, and you felt good when you look in the mirror, and people respect you when they look at you because you're in shape. I'm just being honest. Like, when somebody sees an overweight person, there's a subconscious lack of respect. There just is. When somebody sees a fit, in shape person that's obviously taking care of themselves, there's a subconscious respect. You want the latter. So take your health seriously this year. You need your energy to be through the roof. And I think you'd be surprised at how far that will go to help you double your sales, maybe even triple or quadruple your sales if you really commit. And I'm going to give you one bonus step. Okay, I'm going to give you bonus steps. Step number 8, stop selling and start leading. Here's what I mean by that. You need to become a trusted advisor. You need to position yourself as a trusted advisor, a real estate advisor, not just another salesperson, not just another door opening realtor, not just another real estate agent that puts a sign in the yard, throws a house on the MLS, opens some doors, writes some offers, because there are thousands of you. There are thousands of you. There's nothing that separates you. And if that's all someone's looking for, or if you make it seem like that's all that there is to it, they're just going to find the cheapest one. There's always someone willing to do it cheaper if you commoditize yourself. So to double your sales, you absolutely need to be seen as an authority through the content that you put out there, through the relationships that you have, through market expertise. Your content goes a long way. What you put on Instagram, what you put in your stories, what you post on Facebook, and then how people interact with you face to face, the conversations you have with them, how you carry yourself, all of that can position you as a leader, as an advisor, and not just another freaking salesperson. That's a losing game. If you're a trusted advisor, you're in demand because that's so rare. If you are just another realtor, good luck. You're competing with thousands of others and you're not going to win. You're just not. So I told you that I would jump into the math and break down the math, because step number one was know the math, know the numbers. around hitting your goals. So for this, I'm going to go with a goal of 50 closed transactions in the year. So increase this, reduce this, depending on whatever your goals are. I'll show you how to do this. Okay. So if your goal is 50 closed transactions for the year, we need to find out how many accepted offers will lead to that many transactions. So if 85% of the offers you close, and let me say this first. Let me say this real quick. These numbers, I did a bunch of research to try to find like industry averages. If you, my mentor and friend Sharon Srivatsa says this, and I love this. If you have more data that shows better numbers than what I'm about to give you, use yours. If you don't, use mine. I'm going to give you industry averages, but if you have enough data, if you've been tracking it enough and you know that your numbers are different, then use your data. If you don't have enough data, use mine. Simple. So, closed transactions, how many accepted offers does it take to get 50 closed transactions? Well, if 85% of the offers you make close, or if 85% of the accepted offers end up closing, that means to close 50, you need 59 under contracts, right? Okay. So of those accepted offers, how many showings are required to get the accepted offers? We're just reverse engineering here. And don't worry, I'll flip it at the end and I'll break it down to make it simple. But if you're following along, 50 closed transactions, you need 59 offers, right? 85% of the under contracts close. Maybe yours is better, whatever. But to get 50, you need 59 accepted offers. How many showings for buyers does it take to get that? I know that there's listings as part of this too. But if one accepted offer comes from 1 in 4 showings, if 1 out of every 4 showings leads to an accepted offer, then you need 236 serious showings throughout the year. To get those 59 accepted offers, times that by 4, because 1 in 4, right? It takes 4 showings to get 1 accepted offer, 236 serious showings. How many appointments does it take, right? To get those 236 serious showings, how do you get those appointments? Well, assuming a 50% appointment to client conversion, right? 50% appointment to client conversion, meaning out of every appointment, you're going to turn half of them into clients. You meet with 2 people, for every 2 people you meet, 1 of them will become a client. To get 59 signed clients, you need 118 appointments. So to get 118 appointments, how many leads or contacts does that take? If you book 1 appointment for every 25 conversations, then you need 2,950 contacts throughout a year. Let me simplify, because some of you are like, what the hell are you saying? You're confusing me. I get it, right? Trying to say this on a podcast with reverse engineering is kind of tough. That's why I'm going to break it down. So have no fear. Here we go. There's 50 weeks in the year. Let's assume 2 weeks off. Here's what you need to do on a weekly basis. So to get those 2,950 conversations happening throughout the course of the year, which sounds daunting, right? Holy shit, almost 3,000 conversations in a year. How am I ever going to do that? Well, here's how. You break it down over 50 weeks. We'll give you 2 weeks off. 2,950 contacts divided by those 50 weeks equals 59 conversations per week. That's about 12 conversations per day, assuming a 5-day work week. 12 conversations per day, 5 days a week. Okay. Now, appointments, to get 118 appointments, which is what it takes to get that many offers accepted and blah, blah, blah. Right. So you want 12 conversations per day. You need 118 appointments per year. Divide that by 50 weeks. That's 2 to 3 appointments per week. Here's the summary. Okay. To close 50 transactions, your goals on a daily basis should be 12 conversations a day. This does not mean hour-long conversations with people. That's not necessarily what I mean. I just mean an actual legitimate conversation with somebody. That could be 90 seconds. It could be 90 minutes. It's going to be somewhere in between, right? So in 1 to 2 hours of solid prospecting, whether that's commenting on people's stuff on social, calling your database, calling your leads, doing all that stuff, right? 12 conversations per day. They could be text conversations, by the way. Those count. Anyone that tells you otherwise, I don't know what year they're living in. 12 meaningful interactions with people on a daily basis. You can do that in 1 to 2 hours a day. 12 meaningful conversations per day. That will lead to 2 to 3 appointments per week. And that will lead to 5 serious showings per week with buyers. If you just focus on the 12 conversations per day on average, you will hit your goal. If your goal is 50. If not, you need to, change the numbers on this. But if your goal is 100 sales, 24 conversations per day. And yes, you can have others, part of your team, others helping you to have those conversations, of course, if you're building a business. But if it's just you right now, 12 conversations per day equals 50 transactions in a year based on the numbers that I've researched that seem to be industry averages. I believe you will do better than this. But if you can just overestimate, you'll crush it. You will absolutely crush your goal. Let's say you're selling a home a month right now, 12 homes per year. And you're like, you know what? I commit to having 12 meaningful interactions per day, 5 days a week. Okay, 1 to 2 hours of solid prospecting, 5 days a week. By the way, you can all do that. You can all find time to do that. The question is, will you? That's the only question. So if all of a sudden you just have 12 conversations per day, I don't care where you're at, how many homes you've sold, you will end the year selling more than 50 houses. I believe 50 houses sold is a minimum, a bare minimum, if you commit to 12 conversations per day. That should lead to 2 or 3 appointments per day, and you should be getting 5 serious showings per week with buyers. That is what you need to focus on. All the other math that I talked about is reverse engineering. I don't want you to worry so much about conversion rates and this and that. Just this is why we reverse engineer it. If the goal is 50, there's a bunch of math in the middle that confused you, right? That was overwhelming to hear. I confused myself as I was trying to break that shit down. 50 deals a year equals 12 conversations a day that are meaningful. That could be a 3-minute conversation, 10-minute conversation, whatever. Just a meaningful interaction, 12 per day. You can all do that. Time block that shit. By breaking it down, I hope you can see what working smarter looks like, right? Yes, you need to potentially work harder, but doing what? When you know exactly what to aim at, you can actually aim at it. So that should be your goal. There you go. If your goal is 50 home sales in the year, 12 conversations a day, which should lead to 2 to 3 appointments per week. That's it. Forget everything else. Forget the conversion rate. Like, you'll get better over time. I don't want you to worry about a bunch of other shit. Just how can you structure your day in a way and time block to where you can have 12 meaningful interactions with people on a daily basis, 5 days a week. And you're going to do bonus like you go to the store or you go to your kid's soccer game and maybe you have a quick conversation on a Saturday and that's a that's bonus. Try to hit it in the 5-day period, Monday through Friday. Everything else is bonus. Watch you just crush your goal. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you for listening. I do want to say this though. I'm going to give you step 9. Okay. So I gave you bonus step 8. I'm going to give you bonus step 9 for doubling your sales. Part of working smarter is just making shit easier for yourself. If you're going to be a trusted real estate advisor and position yourself as such, you need to be knowledgeable. You need to know what's happening, why it's happening, what it means. I highly recommend you use a tool like Keeping Current Matters. They make it so easy by having this team of housing and economic experts in your back pocket, giving you updates, giving you the news, breaking it down for you, giving you charts and graphs and showing you what it means and how to communicate it to your buyers and sellers. They tell you what type of content to do and how to say things. It makes your life so much easier. It's so inexpensive. Try Keeping Current Matters today. Go to trykcm.com/BAM. It's a tool you need in your tool belt. It will dramatically help you to position yourself as that desired, sought after real estate advisor, not just another salesperson that opens doors and writes offers. And lastly, being around other agents who are doing better than you is crucial. You need to be in the room with those that are ahead of you so that you can build belief that they're just like you can do it too. You'll also learn some things from them. One of the best communities out there for training, for education and community is BAMx. Go over to nowbam.com and check out BAMx. And when you join the BAMx community, use code MASSIVE at checkout and save yourself some money on joining BAMx. Incredible online courses and trainings and masterminds and events. I am a huge fan of BAMx. I'm a huge fan of Keeping Current Matters. That's why I talk about them every single week. That's why they are partners of this podcast. I will never bring you something that I haven't tried, that I don't believe in, that I'll never bring on a sponsor that just because they're paying me. I've been offered, I could have had a lot more sponsors, but I did not believe that they offered something great. Any sponsor you ever hear on the show or any partner of ours, I truly believe in, and I believe that you will greatly benefit from using it in your business. Otherwise, you're never going to hear it come out of my mouth. Thank you so much for listening. Please share this episode with another agent that needs to hear it. Share it with your broker. Share it with your team leader. Share it with your fellow agents. Share it in a Facebook group or a mastermind that you're a part of. Help us to positively impact. You want to double your sales? I'm trying to double the audience of this podcast in 2025 because I know the impact that it can make on agents in their business. So to do that, I need your help. Please share it. And if you have not yet left a review on Apple or on Spotify, please do. Even if it's just like clicking how many stars, which, by the way, the correct answer is 5. You're going to click 5 stars just to make it easier for you. But if you feel like leaving a little review and telling me what you like about the show, thank you so much. But every single rating and review helps us get seen by more people. It helps us rank higher and be suggested more in the podcast search engines. Thank you all so much. I'm so damn excited for 2025, and I hope this episode gives you some clarity on exactly what to do on a daily basis. 12 conversations per day. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week.